And now joining us here on Midday, we've got Patrick Davey from Kamloops Regional Provincial Manager with WorkSafe BC. How are you doing today?
Any better, and I couldn't take it.
Really? Impressive.
Until it starts snowing.
Or we start talking about asbestos.
Yes.
And that is the subject on tap for today.
We're talking about our homeowners awareness campaign right now. And it's about asbestos in homes. And from the years of 1950 to 1990, asbestos was used a lot in over 3,000 different types of building materials in homes.
Right.
One of the things most people know is that asbestos is very hazardous. Lung disease, cancer. We also know in the last 10 years there's been 584 workers that have died from asbestos-related exposures.
Wow.
But every day still we see workers and employers exposed to asbestos hazards when they're doing a lot of renovations and demolitions. And so why this campaign is actually kind of faced towards homeowners, specifically those ones that are thinking about or in the middle of renovations or demolitions. Okay.
Now you mentioned this actually would affect pretty much anybody that has a home that was built prior to 1990.
Yeah, specifically those ones 1950 to 1990. So we look at the materials that were used. There's a lot of insulations. We use stucco, there's tiles, there's all kinds of building materials. Now, part of this campaign has started earlier this month with radio and TV personality Mr. Kimmel, most people probably know Kenny Kimmel. He does a lot of renovation shows in Vancouver. And really it's a short radio and TV ads talking about the exposure and what homeowners need to do to be safe.
Okay. Now I know you brought a little video for us as well, and tell us what this is about.
So this really talks about asbestos, and it's a video showing what asbestos does to the lungs. And again, it's not an immediate, asbestos. It doesn't come back and bite you right away like fall protection. Really, the hazards may not show up in your body till 10, 15, 20 years later.
Okay. So this is basically somebody maybe doing their own renovations.
There you are, and look what's falling.
As a worker or homeowner.
And there's always stuff falling on you.
There's always stuff falling.
Like that, right?
And usually it's not only that worker you're thinking about. Where's that dust going to? Is it going into your vents? Is it something that's going to show up not only for the workers, but for potentially the homeowner, their family later on?
When a worker breathes, asbestos fibers enter the mouth and nose and flow down the air passages deep into the lungs. The fibers lodge in the delicate lung tissue, where oxygen is absorbed into the blood. Immune system cells try and break down the asbestos fibers and become damaged and die. Scar tissue forms around the dead cells and spreads as more fibers embed in the lungs. Asbestos fibers can remain in the lungs for long periods.
So obviously this is a great video showing us really the effects, and something that would be something you wouldn't see right away.
No.
By the looks of things. So it would be a long-term thing, but obviously something you don't want to have happen to you.
No.
Or to anybody that's working on your home.
So really this campaign is focused on homeowners and what they need to do. And a couple of things they really need to do is, if you're planning on renovations or demolition, is really having a qualified people come in and do a hazardous material survey of your house. Okay. Remember, there's over 3,000 different types. These professionals, these qualified people will identify where it is, what it is.
Right.
They'll give you a report. So the next step, if they find asbestos in the house, part of the house you're renovating or demolition, is to get a qualified and asbestos abatement contractor. You give him the report from the surveyor that shows exactly what the product is, where it is, and they'll remove it safely. So as I said earlier, you're not going to find any dust in your vents that'll expose other workers or potentially your family to it.
Right.
It's getting it right. When he's finished, he'll also give you a letter identifying that it has been cleaned up, and you can move forward with that.
So then you're going to feel safe about it.
You're going to feel safe also knowing that not only that you've saved workers' potential exposure, you may have saved your family potential exposure to asbestos also.
Wow. Okay, so is there a website or anything we can go to just to get some more information?
You know, we've got a lot of good stuff as usual at the WorksafeBC.com, but we've got another one right now that really has extensive information. It has something like this, potential sources of asbestos in your home.
So lots of good resources.
Yeah, and it's called thinkasbestos.com.
Okay, nice and simple.
Yeah, really, and I would say to homeowners, phone your local board office, WorkSafe office, talk to an officer. We have a lot of information, and you have a lot of questions, we have a lot of answers.
That's perfect then. All right, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment here on Midday.